Welcome to the Uncommon Woman Network, a talk show network of the uncommon, unlikely chosen generation, where a radical space and collective opens unceasing pursuit that calls forward the significance waiting for you. Listen, I'm your show host, Jessie Liv, direct leader of Dallas Lighthouse Revival Training Center, planted in Central South Dallas of Texas, founder of Liberate the Flame International, owner and CEO of Liv Company, a 5-year flourishing kingdom store and business. I'm a world travel itinerant speaker and mama to my most favorite person in the entire world, my Lily Grace. So listen, welcome to your next mark and your new beginning of the uncommon destiny that is on your life. Good morning and welcome back to the show. You're on episode 7, airing now from Dallas, Texas. Common ends to uncommon restarts. How to retrieve your destiny right where you are today. Let me explain something. Destiny is retractable. As long as you are breathing, destiny is alive. I have countless stories of life situations that would logically convince anyone at its time I wasn't qualified. A tragic, traumatic Christian divorce over 10 years ago, assassination on my credibility, the death of my mother, actually last October of 2023, just recently, only months ago, that many were really expecting that I would never show face for a while, that it would take me eons and so much other processes of time. And it just goes to show the grace of God. But listen, the powers of darkness are always waiting to use something to count you out. I want to speak to the person today that feels counted out, that literally is in the moment. You're listening right now, and you are feeling like you are in a restart. You have to restart and re-begin everything. You've had so many ends. You've had so many dead ends, road ends, just all kinds of sorts of things, just tail out, spin out. I really have been seeing that in prayer. And I believe right now that God is about to help many people globally, throughout media, throughout this show, throughout many different platforms that we have here, because you need to know this. Your existence is far too powerful when you're certain. I'm going to say that one more time. Your existence is far too powerful when you are certain. When you are sure, you're the most powerful person in a room. Why? Because when you're sure, you're confident. When you are sure, you are anchored in certainty and nothing can move you. When you are sure, you are planted. What does that trial stemmed event do? It begins to withdraw you. It begins to withdraw your life. It begins to take you from confidence and it draws you back. It brings you in a place of pullback. So when you're pulled back and you begin to draw back, that begins to eliminate your certainty. It begins to question everything around you. So what do you begin to do in these moments of common ends? Because you're going to face it. You're going to have it all throughout life. This isn't just, I hate to break it to you, but because I love you, I have to say this to you. You will have frequent common ends. There will be big blows that happen because it's a part of life. In fact, it's promised that we experience trial. But if you have an uncommon destiny, you better be ready to have uncommon restarts, uncommon new beginnings. It is part of the territory. But what do I do, Jessie, to retract and pull up my destiny after I've been hit so hard? I'm going to give you 3 powerful steps today to bounce back. Are you ready? Number 1, and I guarantee you it's not the first thing that you thought, forgive. Decide to forgive and give yourself permission to forgive. You see, oftentimes we think that forgiving is a difficult choice because we feel like we have to. But I'm telling you, if you give yourself permission, you won't feel like it's a duty. You will not feel like it's something you are owing someone else, because in fact you owe it to yourself. So when you give yourself permission, you take the brakes off, You take the weights off, you remove the walls, you take the walls down, and you begin to understand that forgiveness gives you permission to forgive yourself and forgive others. But mostly and oftentimes forgive where you've been. Forgive the time that you've wasted. Forgive the times that you have felt was wasted even when you were trying and spinning your wheels. It's forgiving what happened. It's forgiving who happened. It's forgiving everything and everyone all in one single moment. And you can say, Jessie, but that seems so surreal. That seems monumentous for where I am right now. It's only as big as you make it. We create these mountains inside our heads that make mountains out of anthills. I know you know that saying from when you were a kid, and it's true today. Let's not do that. Let's not make something that really is smaller in efforts of moving forward than what we believe that they are. Don't begin to make it bigger when they are small, is what I'm saying. Forgiveness is a decision. It's as simple as a decision. But what we begin to do is we make ourselves the judge. And that's where we begin to go wrong in moving forward and restarting places to have uncommon restarts and comebacks. Because I don't know who needs to be encouraged up in here today, but I'm just here to say that if you have had common cycles, common things to draw you back, to pull you back, then you are due for a repayment of uncommon comebacks. And that's the favorite, most best part about grace. That is the best part about the goodness of God, is what he begins to do is when in your efforts and when you're trying, he will put something on your life where it will give you the strength to come back 10 times harder, to come back and be 10 times greater in success, to come back and have that greater income flow, to come back and have that greater circle of relationships because all of the other ones have died and fallen away. I promise you that is the faithfulness and the goodness of God. And all it takes is this one decision, but we cannot be the judge. You cannot put yourself in the judge position and judge your circumstance, judge yourself, judge others, judge how wrong it was, judge how right this was and how right that person was, but how wrong you were. You don't have the right to put yourself in that judge chair. You don't have the right to extend the meter of where your judgments need to go and how you validate those judgments and how you mediate them and how you measure them out. You do not have that capacity, my friend. And that's why forgiveness can sometimes be so heavy. It's because we miss it. We miss that it's a decision and we put it in the seat of judging right from what's wrong. And we begin to validate justice from injustice. And that's what keeps us in grudge. That's what keeps us in bitterness. That is what keeps us in stagnancy and in the same space. Inevitably, we participate in the circumstances far too much. And we need to understand that uninvited participation in any circumstance is just uninvited. And we cannot show up to uninvited circumstances. You need to begin to create a space where you recognize that this thing is uninvited. You need to get it out. If it's an uninvited unforgiveness, if it's an uninvited bitterness, if it's an uninvited space that you do not want, okay, if it is hostility, if it is a bad atmosphere or a negative environment or even just beginning to just have seat pools of just toxicity coming into your spiritual life, you can recognize that this is uninvited. So by saying it's uninvited, recognizing that it's uninvited, you can forgive the necessary things that allowed that uninvitation to enter in through a door, and you can kick it right back out. It's as easy as that. Yes, it is. Number 2, you can fortify yourself. Number 2, and restarting an uncommon restart and a common setback or a common end is the second key is to fortify yourself. What does this mean? This means to get your strength back. This means to go and get spiritual kingdom refreshing. You got to enter back into solitude. You got to eat healthy. You got to get back into the word in a place where it's not a chore, but you're going to literally eat. You got to take your vitamins. You got to allow your body to move and healthy exercise. Get your brain clear. Let that exercise begin to remove all those fogs and nasty mindsets. Fortifying yourself, taking initiative to fortify your life. Forgiveness is the first step, but fortifying yourself is the next step. What do you mean? We're supposed to live selfless lives? Absolutely. And be selfless and lay down our lives. We absolutely are. But you have to fortify yourself in self-discipline, because ultimately nobody's going to do the things that it requires to have a healthy spiritual lifestyle unless you apply fortifying yourself, fortifying your strength, getting that kingdom refreshing that you've been needing, that solitude, eating healthy, doing the things that it takes for you to live this uncommon life in uncommon favor and uncommon grace. It's going to take uncommon discipline. Now, this is a whole word right here. It is going to take uncommon discipline to acquire uncommon exploits. We've been saying this since episode 1. If you want what you've never had before, you're going to have to do what you've never done before. You're going to have to go places you've never been before. You're going to have to go before people that you've never been before. And fortify yourself in a healthy space. Because I'm going to tell you right now, in that drawback and in those setbacks, before you before you reset, do you want to know what happens? We begin to get passive. We begin to get so pulled back that we forget to live in the present. We forget to start moving our bodies in a healthy way. We forget resources that we need to be reading to grow. We stop applying ourselves in growth. We stop evolving. We literally stop fruition when we feel pulled back and we don't get a grip and we do not get up and choose to arise. All the things that are on the fruit of the tree of your life can begin to dissipate, and branches can begin to fall away and begin to wither because we are choosing the lie of the weakness and allowing that unforgiveness to continue to eat us up on the inside, where we are making the conscious decision that we don't even recognize we're making, that we're not conquering this, that we're not drawing back. And the movement of our bodies, exercise, and various healthy protocol really does help you bounce back. It is a fortifying of remembrance completely on all outskirts. But let's go a little bit deeper on the fortifying of remembrance. Fortifying of remembrance of mainly what you love. What do you love? I'm asking you personally that question as if you were sitting right in front of me today, my friend. What used to make your heart leap in passion and in purpose? And even if it's been a while, can you sit right now in a peaceful space and nurture that place and let it get strong again? This is fortifying. This is taking a few weeks to turn the world off, allowing yourself to get into the space to allow the resurrection, if you will, to begin to arise in your heart and let your heart beat again for the things that you love. This is where strength begins to get endurance. This is where unctions and quickenings begin to happen in your life. This is where you begin to have a pep in your step and you begin to move. Am I encouraging any of you this morning? Some of you might be watching at 6 a.m. right when we air in this morning, and some of you might be watching it in the evening when you're just getting home from a busy day, and that's all right. But wherever you are in the start of your day, can you make it a start right now to fortify remembrance and begin to ponder, begin to meditate, begin to take your life back into the lane of everything that you loved to do and allow passion and purpose to emerge? Because without those two things, we can become lost. It says without purpose in the Bible, that a man perishes without vision. Without vision, a man is fallen away. He does not know the way that he is going. And it says that we will lose our way. And to some severity of degree, it can become fallen away. So this is why it is paramount that we resurrect and let the meditation of our hearts begin to arise in the things that we love to do. Because what you love to do is a divine indication of what you're supposed to do. Because what you love to do is your purpose in life. It is a bonus package. You're not going to be destined to do something that you hate to do. There's going to be an undefined skill 9 times out of 10 that you didn't know that you had, that you actually are really good at, that actually feeds your purpose. And then there will be a newfound passion that makes your heart beat and makes you on fire when you wake up, and it makes you go to bed on fire when you think about it. It is just your natural wind. It's your natural strength. It's the natural thing that feeds you and gives you the oomph in your day. Number 3, love yourself. Oh yeah. And love others. Accepting love for yourself and making effort to love others heals your journey. And here's the best part, draws clarity. It draws clarity. When you love yourself, do you want to know what that does? It casts out the fear and the anxiety that is taking up room and space in your thoughts. Perfect love casts out fear. So therefore, it will cast out deception. And often oppression is attached to deception. Oftentimes depression is attached to deception. So if we can rule out the main culprit, which is fear, that is really tied to anxiety, paranoia, failure, low self-esteem, low self-worth, low value, come on. Then what this can begin to do, come on, is it can break the false narrative that's been lying to you. It's been lying to you for weeks. It's been lying to you for days. And all of that chatter has been because of what we have allowed to take up vacancy in our life. Not everything is desiring room. You can kick things out of the spaces of your thoughts. You can kick things out that don't belong in the spaces of your heart. This is what it looks like to have a fortified life, because you truly are the keeper of your house. That's right. There is a shepherd over your house, but you are the keeper of its gates. It even says, Lord, I would rather be a doorkeeper in your house than 1,000 elsewhere, because we are literally the doorkeeper of our gates, of who we are, our heart gates, our mind gates, our eye gates. Only we have the authority to stop what's not supposed to be entering and rule out and kick out the things that are not supposed to be in there. Wow. The allowance of love, all right, empowers you to lead and to rise. Have you ever felt in your best seasons when you felt the most loved? The spiritual season of your life, it was like the love of God was on a Hallmark card. Everywhere you went, the love of God just oozed easily. You didn't have to do nothing. You didn't have to enter in anywhere. You didn't have to go anywhere. You didn't have to pursue. You didn't have to sit. You didn't have to be still. It was just overflowing like a waterfall. Same thing in your personal relationship life. When all these relationships are all around you and you feel the most love, don't you feel like you could literally do anything? Because love is truly a force, and it sets you free. It removes all limitations, and it gives you this fortifying power because it is attached to the space on the inside of you that resonates with the power of love, and it begins to make you powerful. And this is where you can love yourself and others back to triumph. Yes, you can. Everybody asks me so many secrets on how you can win daily warfare. And I says, well, how well do you love people? How well do you love yourself? Because to the measure that you value and you love yourself will literally be the world that you view from. It will be the world that you see people out of. It will be the world that you view money out of. It will be the world that you view your children out of. It will be the world that you view every single thing about your career, your destiny, your purpose. It is all about how you love yourself and how you have been able to receive love will be the capacity and the dynamic that your eyes are clear. Because if we keep believing that we're not lovable, and if I keep believing that I'm unloved, you know what that does? That makes a culprit of hate. Do you want to know what hate produces? Hate produces so many things. It produces stress. It is the opposite, the absence of joy. It is dread. It is the culprit of misery. It is all of these things. So if you have been dealing with these things, you more than likely need to take inventory of either self-hate or feeling like you're hated. If you have difficulty loving yourself and you feel like your love tank is empty, somewhere we might need to be taking inventory and laying down some unprocessed perspectives of hate. Not saying that you hate anyone, not saying that you hate yourself, but if you believe that you are hated, that is the opposite of love in general. And all that that's going to produce is setback. All that this is going to produce is just this lag and this drawback because of one thing that happened. And now it's just become a whole dimension of things that really have to go. So this is your uncommon restart, all right, to retrieve destiny right where you are. These 3 keys will set you on a basic, easy path. It's not massive work. It's not crazy complex. It's super easy. And I didn't want to give so many keys where you feel like it was a lot of work. So I sat here and I understood that 3 simple keys, if I had to sum them up into the most powerful ones, which one would set you on the mark to reset and restart right now, right where you are. If you just took time in your car, if you took time on in your home, in your living room, when nobody else is home, if you took time somewhere in the park, on your jog in the morning, and you just begun to say, you know what, I do not receive and I do not tolerate any hate, any perceived hate, any hate about myself, any hate pushed upon me. I choose to forgive this. I choose to forgive that. I choose to forgive who. I choose to forgive myself. And you fortify your health and you bring your life back to a space where peace is your portion and your weapon and chaos is a stranger. I guarantee you'll see turnaround in hours, in just hours. This isn't years. This isn't months. This is hours. You will see change in hours. So get up, my friend, and take your life back. This is the time where there is no more looking back. You have got to restart and reset for the things that are on the horizon, because I guarantee you what's up there is far greater than what's behind you. So it's time to stop looking back. Okay? It's time to stop looking back. This is your host, Jessie Liv, with the Uncommon Woman Network. If you have liked this episode, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to comment in the comment area, and I want you to give me some feedback. If you, of course, desire to hear more content from this network, you can also support this show. You can support at the top bar that says support the creator content for future episodes. You just got to click that button, and then you just go ahead and you support us going forward and moving forward. But other than that, I am excited for the next episode. We got some great stuff up and coming. I know that this one helped you today. Let me know how, and I will see you on the next episode.